चल हो जा शुरू।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Jai Hind friends, I'm Major Guarav Arya and you're watching the latest news of the day. Switzerland is a lovely place, and who does not want to go to Switzerland on vacations? You know, it's got lovely mountains, it's got beautiful infrastructure, it's got lakes, it's got picture postcard views every turn of the road. Which is why movies are shot in Switzerland, people go to Switzerland for holidays, rich people buy, they buy apartments and they buy bungalows in Switzerland. And they like to go there every summer. People go there in winters. Some people go to Switzerland just to talk. And this is exactly what happened in the Peace Summit in Switzerland, where more than 90 countries had gathered to find a solution to the Russia-Ukraine war. So 90 countries gathering in Switzerland and saying, hey, let us talk about peace and let us find a way how we can end the war between Russia and Ukraine. Now, India did not attend, Saudi Arabia did not attend, the UAE did not attend, so many important players did not attend. Apart from what the Russians have to say about the summit, and I'll come to that a little later, I find it very strange, and I've been saying this not from today, but for almost a year. You cannot have a peace summit which calls for the end of war, and in that peace summit, not invite one of the warring countries. This, in a sense, I'm talking about what happened in Switzerland, has turned out to be like a talk show. It has turned out to be like a government-funded holiday for 2 days, where everybody goes, they stay in 5-star hotels, they see the beautiful sights of Switzerland, they buy chocolate, they come back. This is exactly what they did, and which is why nobody takes these peace summits seriously. Now, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. The Kremlin said on Monday that a Kiev-led international peace summit on Ukraine was not invited. So Russia is saying that it was a Kiev-led international peace summit on Ukraine. Russia was not invited and they produced zero results, which is fairly correct. I mean, the Russian point of view is fairly correct. They produced absolutely zero results. And this is not the first time they're having a peace summit without Russia. And they fail to understand that they want Russia to stop fighting, but they'll not talk to Russia. Officials of more than 90 countries gathered in Switzerland, backing Ukraine's independence, but leaving key questions of how to end the conflict unresolved. So more than 90 countries went there, government paid. You can't say no to Switzerland. It is so astonishingly beautiful that, you have something in Switzerland and people will turn up. And that is exactly what happened. Peace summit after peace summit. I know of at least 5 peace summits. I mean, I'm sure there have been many more, but I'm personally aware of 5 peace summits that have failed because they refused to call Russia. And the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said, if we talk about the results of this meeting, then they come down to zero. And the Russians are saying it's zero, and it is zero actually. You may dislike the Russians' action in Ukraine, invading a sovereign country. And none of us likes it. Many of us condemn it. You see? But the fact of the matter is that these meetings calling for peace have absolutely no result. And there is no gain having these meetings except for millions of dollars spent. Other than the fact that, you get to meet people. It becomes like a club. But people meet, people enjoy government money, and they go back. And the war between Russia and Ukraine goes on. Today, people say between 20 to 25% of Ukraine's territory is directly or indirectly under Russian control. And very recently, Russia gave a proposal to the world at large. They said, we will end this war immediately. We'll call for ceasefire. We have 2 conditions. The first condition is, whatever land we have occupied, Ukraine will not claim that land. Essentially, what Russia conquers, Russia keeps. That is one part of it. And the second thing they said was very important, that Ukraine will give an undertaking that they will not insist on joining NATO. I can understand the NATO piece. I'm not saying I agree with the NATO piece. I'm saying I understand. But I don't understand why Russia would invade a sovereign country and then claim its territory and say that we'll not give back the territory. A final document was backed by a vast majority of countries. We're talking about Switzerland now. A final document was backed by a vast majority of countries attending the summit, but several countries did not sign it, including Saudi Arabia, India, and the United Arab Emirates. Many countries understood the lack of perspective of very serious discussion without the presence of our country, Peskov said. So it doesn't matter if India attended or not attended, they didn't sign it only. So you send a delegation. I don't think Dr. Jaishankar went to this meeting. India must have sent somebody, so they sent somebody, and that somebody went there. And in the end, nothing came out of it. And he says Russian President Vladimir Putin was still open to dialogue and serious discussions. And Putin last week said Moscow would join peace only if Ukraine gave up 4 of its regions, effectively demanding that it surrender. So Russia is sticking to its guns. Russia knows that the opposition, led by the United States of America, has no coherent policy. Russia understands well that these people will keep on funding the war, but they will not take part in that war. Right? They will keep on giving money and arms to Ukraine. Ukrainians will keep on dying. But in the end, there will be opposition after some time. After a year, after 6 months, there is going to be serious opposition to this war. And somebody had posted a video on Twitter, or was it YouTube? I don't remember. A video about how bad American airports are. So you go to an American airport, these are old, broken airports. So I don't understand. America has the money to give to Ukraine hundreds of billions of dollars. They don't have the money to get their airports right, their roads right. So, these are priorities. I mean, who is this money going to? Is this money going to big American arms corporations? Is the money going there, like it went to Afghanistan, $2 trillion? Because I would imagine that any country which said that, we are the world's only superpower and the largest superpower and the biggest and the most powerful superpower, but our airports look like slums. They are dilapidated. Indian airports are better than American airports. I've never been to the US, but people tell me this. People say that Indian airports are far better than American airports. So this also talks about, or this also shows the priority the American gives to their own country. They sort of say that, okay, we will support Ukraine. We will keep on giving weapons. We'll keep on giving money to Ukraine. And this war will never end. And sometimes I think they're not keen on this war ending. Americans don't want this war to end. And I think they don't want this war to end because American companies are benefiting. And it is the corporates that rule the United States of America. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, to cut a long story short, this entire summit, peace summit, Ukraine-led peace summit in Switzerland was an abject failure. India did not sign. Saudi did not sign. The UAE did not sign. Many countries abstained from signing, and Russia calls it a failure because Russia says that without the presence of one of the countries in the conflict, there are 2 countries, there is Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine is there and they want to talk peace. You have to talk peace with the other guy who's fighting, but the other guy is absent because he's not been invited. Rather than inviting, and here is a small message to anybody in America who's listening, this is basic common sense stuff. If you want truly to end war, don't call 90 countries. Just call 5 or 6 countries, and those 5 or 6 countries must include Russia and Ukraine. And you get Zelenskyy and Putin to sit face to face and sort it out and say that we'll and Russia must stop demanding land of other countries. Slowly and slowly, the goodwill that many people had in India for Russia, that goodwill is thinning down. That goodwill is still there. It's still there, but it's thinning down now slowly and slowly. People are saying that this is not okay. You can't invade another country and capture it permanently. We didn't like it when the Americans did it to Afghanistan and Iraq, and we don't like it when Russia does it to Ukraine. Russia had cause. But, invading another country because you think it's a preemptive strike, that is one thing. But then saying that you should be allowed to keep the land, that is another matter altogether. Thank you very much for watching this, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this video, press the like button. And I'm going to be back again tomorrow with another fresh news. Till then, Jai Hind.